and your contactless clearance process. We appreciate you and will always keep you, our customers, in focus. Happy New Year from Jamaica Customs. For all side, for all side, we time to come, oh, kindness yet, for days of all side. Each one, on the breeze, and the gallows fine, but we want to make
At a time? You did? Okay.
And we walk it over
All right, let's give you a quick roundup of the stories trending right now as recorded by the Gleaner on their website, jamaica-gleaner.com. There's a picture of a devastated place. Let's see. Russia and Ukraine exchange hundreds of prisoners of war in the biggest release so far. Russia and Ukraine on Wednesday exchanged hundreds of prisoners of war in the biggest single release of captives since Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Ukrainian authorities said that 230 Ukrainian prisoners of war returned. Investigators focus on air traffic communication after fatal Tokyo runway crash. A transcript of communication between traffic control and two aircraft that collided and burst into flames at Tokyo's Haneda Airport showed that only the larger Japan Airlines passenger flight was given permission. Also trending, 2 men arrested, 3 guns seized in a CTOC operation in Clarendon. That's another of the stories trending. The police are reporting that detectives from the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC, have arrested 2 men and seized 3 firearms in an operation in Oliver Gardens, Maypen, Clarendon. Details are still emerging, but early reports indicate that the special operation is part of a targeted effort to clamp down on illegal firearms and criminal activities in the area. Oh dear, this is not good. The Gleaner is telling us Roger Clark High School mourns sudden death of information technology teacher. We're so sorry to hear that. Our sincerest condolences. The story goes on to say Roger Clark High School in St. Elizabeth is mourning the sudden death of information technology teacher Damani Campbell. On Tuesday, the 28-year-old educator who is from the parish died after suffering a seizure. His death came sharply on the heels of another teacher, Alexis Thompson, 40, from Lacovia High School in the parish, who died suddenly. Thompson, who is from Belmont in Westmoreland and who taught social studies and library science, was found unresponsive on December 20, sending shockwaves throughout the school community at the news of her death. The information technology specialist's death has increased the number of teachers to have died in St. Elizabeth in recent months to 4. In September, 31-year-old Danielle Blake from Sandy Ground in St. Elizabeth died from injuries she received in a motor vehicle accident after 2 vehicles collided on the Fonthill Main Road in St. Elizabeth. At the time of her tragic death, Blake was employed at the Savannah Lamar Primary School in Westmoreland. Also, Tisha Patrick Rowe, principal of the St. Elizabeth-based Fullerswood Primary School, died on September 13, days after she had an accident at school. Another death was that of 29-year-old Samika Smalling, who at the time of her passing was employed as a teacher at the Esher Primary School in Hanover. Smalling in October complained about a severe headache and was admitted to the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. Her medical condition took a turn for the worst, and she was transferred to the University Hospital of the West Indies in St. Andrew, where he died on November 16. Our condolences to the families, friends, colleagues, neighbors who are grieving even now. A couple of other stories in the meantime. A Jamaican living in the Cayman Islands is encouraging her fellow countrymen to seize the opportunity to travel more frequently, even if it means journeying solo. Solo trips, she said, are not as bad as many think. So it's a mix of stories. And the police in Portland are urging timely reports of livestock theft. That's another of the headlines. And hundreds now using Jamaica Customs Agency's new mobile app. Potable water supply system now in place at Ginger Ridge Primary School. And persons living near farmlands are advised to guard against rodent infestation. Persons are also being urged to take precautions against influenza and dengue. Meanwhile, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, is investigating the beating of a 14-year-old girl by adults in Clarendon, and that has been doing the rounds on social media. There's an image from a video of the incident showing a group of women beating the child. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, says it has been made aware of an incident in which a 14-year-old girl was recently attacked and beaten by a group of adults in Clarendon. The agency says it is currently investigating the matter and stands ready to provide the necessary support to the child and her family. The video, which has been circulating on social media, shows a group of women kicking, hitting, and dragging the child. It's unclear the circumstances surrounding the incident. Man arrested at hospital following foiled robbery in Manchester is another of the stories. So those are just some of the stories that are trending, in particular on the Gleaner's website, jamaica-gleaner.com. And we'll continue to keep an eye and an ear out for the updates as they come in. In the meantime, we have at least caller who's been waiting in the wings for a few minutes now, 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Good afternoon to you and Happy New Year, Mr. Daly. How are you?
Dervan, Happy New Year to you, 2024, to you, to your family, to your staff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And to your callers and listeners here and abroad.
Thank you on their behalf.
Thank you so much, Dervan. Thank you so much for taking my call here this afternoon. I have not had the privilege to speak to you for quite a while. It would be remiss of me if I did not commend and applaud you, Dervan, on having a very successful program, both sides of the story throughout last year, 2023, covering comprehensively issues having to do with the Jamaican diaspora. You did very well, and we appreciate always your incisive commentaries and eminent scholarship. Well appreciated throughout last year, and I am publicly commending you and encouraging you to keep up the excellent work and the high quality of journalism and that you always seek to maintain.
Your generosity is quite boundless at the start.
Absolutely. Encouragement is when it is deserved. I would like to mention my winners for last year, 2023. The first one goes to Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Branch, Acting DCP MacArthur Sutherland, for his outstanding, exceptional, and excellent performance as the commanding officer for IPOB. He did well, and a number of cases which came to his department were successfully dealt with. The second person, the Finance, Planning and Public Service Minister, Dr. Esther Clark, for his outstanding, quintessential and excellent performance, especially with regards to his significant accomplishment with the successful implementation of the public sector salary compensation review project, which was completed by and large last year, and also the successful increase in the long overdue salaries of the senior political directorate, and for its impeccable ministerial leadership as finance minister. We had the lowest employment rate last year, successfully bringing back the Jamaican economy last year to pre-COVID levels, and immense increase in levels of current inflows of direct foreign investments into Jamaica. The person, the leader of the opposition and PNP President Mark Golding, for fully uniting the PNP, for his many excellent, incisive, and powerfully penetrating party speeches, and for scholarly articulating a well-received PNP annual party conference speech last year. The fourth person, the Executive Director of the Integrity Commission, Greg Christie, for his top-class performance as head of the Integrity Commission, and for the overall exceptional performance of the Integrity Commission last year. And I have taken note, Dervan, that the threshold has been increased to we persons who are now required to submit statutory declarations to the IC. That was long overdue. the fifth person, executive chairman of the Montego Bay-based Caribbean Producers Group, Marcus, for having a very successful year with CPG, record profits he had, and for its company's immense contribution to the Jamaican economy, pivotally from Montego Bay. And the two last persons, very importantly as well, the commanding officer of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Narcotics Division, Superintendent Dwight Daly, for under his leadership, very outstanding and impeccable performance, and on the many successful record seizures of illegal drugs throughout last year in Jamaica. And I would like to commend as well the intelligence chief of the Narcotics Division for his outstanding performance. I will not say his name for security reasons, but I am commending the Narcotics Division intelligence chief. And lastly, commendations to the United States Drug Enforcement Team leader based in Kingston at the United States Embassy for its excellent intel work along with his team working with the Narcotics Division here in Jamaica. The big loser for me, those persons that I named previously were all winners from my perspective. Here, the big and only loser for me for 2023 is the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Cybercrime Unit for being a highly incompetent, inefficient, under-resourced, and under-equipped unit. Over 60 lottery scammers and cybercrime criminals have their cases thrown out from the court due to outstanding cybercrime reports, Dervan, which go back as far as 6-7 years. And it would seem to me that in this new year, some positive action needs to be taken to revamp and restructure the cybercrime unit. I think they need a new commanding officer, and the salary levels of the detectives who are employed there, salary levels need to be taken a look at. I have been directly informed by my checks that as soon as some of those forensic detectives at the cybercrime unit are trained overseas and they come back to Jamaica, within 12 months after being trained, they migrate to other countries which they are able to earn significantly higher levels of salary. So that needs to be dealt with promptly this year, Dervan.
One moment, please.
You're listening to 106 FM. The time is now
11 minutes to 3 o'clock.
The management and staff.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. It's the second edition of the program for 2024. And we're looking forward to more in 2024, aren't we? We're taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. That's 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Sorry, we lost you just for a moment there, but we're bringing you back online to complete your presentation.
Thank you very much. I'm back with you. I got disconnected, but somehow we reconnected.
Right. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming back to me.
Yes.
The issue of corruption continues to be a significant problem in Jamaica, as we have discussed before. But the issue at hand is that it continues to get worse. And there is no hope in sight in cauterizing the increases in corruption here in Jamaica. Some $300 billion is lost by the Jamaican government based on estimates per year due to government alleged corruption. Can you imagine, Dervan, what that sum of money, $300 billion, lost the corruption, could do to assist the schools and the health sector and other areas? Some firm, tangible action needs to be taken in this new year regarding corruption. The 6 parliamentarians, Dervan, who are under alleged illicit investigations by the Integrity Commission, they are not named thus far. It would seem to me, based on my humble opinion, that before the local government elections are held, that these 6 parliamentarians who are under investigation by the IC, the Prime Minister has a duty and responsibility to inform the country and the Parliament as to the names of these persons. If the Prime Minister names these 6 parliamentarians, he is not indicating in any way, shape, or form that they are guilty, but he's informing the country of the persons who are under investigation. Why can't we have the names of those persons?
Well, that question is still being asked, and as things remain how they are and where they are, the questions will continue, will keep coming, and perhaps until. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I was just saying, perhaps until the decision makers are overwhelmed and might be moved to take further action. Outside of that, the cycle will continue.
I am moving towards a viewpoint, Dervan, that the Integrity Commission Act should be amended. I've come to that conclusion that the Integrity Commission Act should be amended so as to allow any person being investigated by the Integrity Commission for the IC to inform the country at the start of the investigation. I do not see how that could damage any ongoing investigation after that announcement would have been made. The government, Dervan, is proceeding down a very dangerous road. And I say this quite respectfully to the Prime Minister and to his government. The issue of mandatory minimum sentences. I do not know, Dervan, if you saw an article in the Observer by King's Counsel Peter Champagne pointing out the negatives of the government implementing mandatory minimum sentences for firearms offences and wanting to amend further laws so as to implement a mandatory minimum sentence for persons committing murder and capital murder, and for juveniles who commit murders as well. It would seem to me, Dervan, that this is totally inappropriate. It is the judges in the courts who have been employed that should adjudicate on each case, on each merit, the merit of each case. Allow the judge, Dervan, to adjudicate on each case and pronounce his sentencing terms and length of prison terms according to each case, while the government sign, for want of a better word, the judge's discretion by implementing this mandatory minimum sentencing guideline. And therefore, when accused persons are held and they wish to plead guilty, they cannot plead guilty because when they plead guilty, they would still have to serve the mandatory minimum sentencing period. Without the mandatory minimum sentences, when persons agree to plead guilty before trial, the cases go through court at a much faster rate, and they would be able to receive lower sentences. There is a misguided notion and misguided and flawed and warped narrative in Jamaica that longer
sentences,
prison sentences
mm-hmm.
will cause the crime and the murder rate to decline. That is not Sir Dervan, because I do not know if you heard the Chief Justice Brian Sykes.
I heard him on that subject, yes.
Yes. So if many of the persons who are committing the crimes in this country, especially serious organized crimes, are not being held, to implement longer prison terms is really preposterous in my mind. And when you take a look at the government using the states of emergency, that is becoming a big joke, Dervan. We had states of public emergency for many months, over close to 2 years here in Montego Bay. The murder rate declined somewhat and escalated exponentially when the SOEs are lifted. Why is that so? It is so, Dervan and your listeners, because the gang members are not being held. There are some close to 30 seriously organized criminal gangs in St. James. Have you heard, Dervan, any one of them being dismantled and the gang members brought before? And that is why we have...
Well, for some time now, we've been hearing seen a couple of cases, well, more than quite a number of cases of those being arrested and charged on gang-related, in accordance with gang-related matters.
Yes.
And there are some who have been set free, and others have been incarcerated.
Yes, but the gang members, some of them have been apprehended here in St. James, but the gangs still are operating. And there is a significant problem as well, and it must be said publicly and unequivocally, because St. James and Western Jamaica is really the epicenter of the lottery scamming, cybercrime, and the gang-related and illegal narcotics trade. What is happening, Dervan, is that these wealthy criminals are able to allegedly contaminate and bribe many of the officers, or let me retract, the officers in St. James and Western Jamaica, as was stated by a former commissioner of police.
One moment, please. One moment.
seas between us. Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
line sign, my dear, for line sign. We'll talk.
Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Thank you very much, Dervan. So the fact of the matter is that we have to be honest here. We have a twin problem. We have the problem of serious organized crime in St. James and Western Jamaica. Those are the areas I'm focusing on today and which are high-value areas. We have the organized criminal problems here. But the other problem, Dervan, has to do with the corruption of the police force in this region. So unless both are dealt with at the same time, then the increasing levels of crime, murders, illegal drug trade will continue. And some of the illegal drugs which are being seized in St. James and in Western Jamaica, the operations have to be planned from Kingston. So you see the significant problem. The issue of corruption must be dealt with. And the citizens this year, I wrote an article which came out in the Gleaner some days ago. This year, I am urging the Jamaican people to take a stand against corruption and crime. And until Dervan, they are willing to cooperate with the police. You yourself said many times last year, I am paraphrasing, that to be a police informer, a responsible police informer, is a good thing. And the Jamaican people will have to be willing this year to cooperate with the security forces to get this crime problem down. I wish for you, again, Dervan, and all your listeners and callers, all the very best for the new year, and keep up the excellent work on this program, Dervan. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call. Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Franklin McDonald is at it again. What is he showing us now? A link to Future Crunch, providing intelligent. Let's see if we can bring up the rest of this message. Mr. McDonald is very keen on researching data and sharing and disseminating such data. There's always something to learn. Thank you very much, Mr. McDonald, and all the very best. Let's see if we'll be able to. Here we go. This is so the organization is called Future Crunch, and it purports to help organizations understand what's next. We seek out and tell stories of progress. We give people hope for the future. And it goes on. So at the heart of every Future Crunch presentation is an exploration of what's happening on the frontiers of science and technology, and an intelligent, courageous optimism about the future. We've spoken at more than 500 events, says this information, on 5 different continents, telling stories about how millions of people around the world are coming up with solutions to the big challenges of our time. We create unique, memorable experiences. And the story goes on and on and on. You can look it up and see what you find. It's called Future Crunch. Future Crunch. Thank you, Mr. McDonald, for a snapshot of one of the stories in Future Crunch. And this one's breaking news. Oh dear, gross. All right, we can perhaps forward this information to the newsroom. See if we can get it to the newsroom. But let's see if we can check on the veracity of the information, the truth of the information. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada, still in touch with us. Thank you very much, Calvin. We need to confirm if it is in fact so. Yeah, Chris. And then right. Right. It's a taxi driver who was hacked to death. That's what it said. And what I sent you was, hold on. Hold on. Yes, it's a name of a place in Manchester. Yeah, just to confirm such a thing actually. Let me tell you who it came from. Yeah, it's not clear. It's not exactly clear who. Okay, thanks. It's somebody called Rico, Rico, or yeah. So yeah, there's yeah. Well, we want to find out. We want to ask him is either he knows or not. Yeah, just if he's able to. If not, then we just move on. Yeah, let's see what we can find out. Thanks. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. As we said a short while ago, someone has shared a story. We're trying to check on it to see if it is in fact so. And whether or not we find it, we have no doubt that the news department will catch up with this story if they're not there already. In the meantime, just a couple of other messages we're trying to clear. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. If your neighbor planning to move your boundary for your land that you have your house on, and there's a possibility that your neighbor may get away with it, would you feel comfortable living in a country like that? Well, there are existing options available to those who find themselves in these situations. Oh, it will therefore be a matter of how much weight. Well, let's put it this way. It's a matter that is best settled in a court of law, as opposed to individual homeowners taking it upon themselves. You could also attempt some kind of a class action suit as well. If 50% of what I heard or saw on social media is true, this country is in a lot of trouble, a lot, says Horace, otherwise known as Spider. Ellerid says, Happy New Year, Mr. Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm, do seniors have the most accidents on the road than young drivers? No, I haven't disaggregated the numbers, so I wouldn't be able to say. But the data, for the most part, is available for analysis and conclusion. You could check with the road safety unit in the Ministry of Transport. That's what we would suggest. Another one, good afternoon, Dervan. I'm calling on the MP for Bridgeport to have the pothole on Charles Drive, Port Henderson Road, and Germain Road repaired. I heard he said he got millions to patch roads in his division. The hole on Charles Drive is becoming a lake now. It's on the left side of the bridge, on the left side of the Bridgeport police station. Well, let's bring it to the attention even further to identifying the, let's see, whose division in his, it speaks about his division, but not, he didn't name it. I can't take it for granted that it is in fact Port Henderson Road. But let's get some more information, Ellerid. Let's get some more information on that. And here's another message. Poor audio over in St. Thomas. You, the host, repeating everything you said. So that's what they're hearing, a repetition of everything that is said. That's what this person is telling us. So we're going to share the information with the engineers to see what that is about. So we're going to send to the transmission group, transmission WhatsApp group, transmission for radio and television. And we hope the engineers will be able to remedy the situation. But we've been getting quite a few complaints on transmission matters, and it can be quite draining. This one says, it's quite a lot to go through, and not all of them are related or relevant at this time. But as we always say, you take the time to message us. The least we can do is to acknowledge, as much as acknowledge your messages. And this, all right, we have been asked to read this message. Family and, all right, let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
We'll take a cut, oh, kindness yet for days of old lang syne. We'd walk on about the breeze and thought the gowan's fine. But we've wandered many in fact since days of old lang syne. And we'd walk a golden the barn, free morning sun till die. But seas between us braid hillward since days of old lang syne. For old lang syne.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Mike Montgomery says, good afternoon, teacher, to you and your listeners. Wishing you all the best for the new year. I wish God's blessings and good health. Keep educating the nation. Keep safe, teacher, says Mike Montgomery. Thank you very much, Mike. All the best. Violet White says, good afternoon, Dervan. Thanks for all you do. Blessings to you and the listening audience. Thank you. Chris Banton says, big up yourself, Sir Malcolm. Happy Earth Strong to the Honorable Michael Lee Chin. By the way, Mr. Malcolm, 3 days into the new year, 0 murder. I wonder if we can have a murder-free, and we're not seeing the rest of that message. And I don't know. This is coming from Chris Banton. I'm not sure where he got the information from. That 3 days into the new year, 0 murders. We don't know. We'd have to check with the police to see if that is in fact so. Yes. Is it possible in Jamaica? Scarlet Notice says, Happy New Year to you too, Connie Scarlet Notice. Thank you very much for joining us and all the very best. Thank you. And let's go over to the WhatsApp line, 876-365-3346. Videos being shared as well. And we'll keep checking to see how things are going. All right, let's continue. 876-922-4112-5. Those are the numbers to call. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I wanted to know from the executive committee of the NHT, when is the government going to pay back the $11 billion a year that they borrowed from 2011? And what is the interest rate? Will the trust get back on tax? What is the interest rate? What is the interest rate? Will the trust get back on taxpayers' investment into the government? asks Cuban in Georgia. Thank you very much. This information, as I understand it, all other things being equal, the information is accessible through the Access to Information Act. And most, if not all, of the ministries, departments, and agencies have an Access to Information unit. So check on that and see if you're able to get the answers that you seek. Mac, otherwise known as Bunty, says, Mr. Malcolm, great day of the Almighty. And he sends us another message. It is a pledge. If you read it, please and thanks, says Mac. Uriel, otherwise known as Jax in Jacksonville, says, good afternoon, Dervan. The young man you just read was fined $500,000 for driving infractions. Note he was only 20 years old. Minister Vaz was not charged nor taken to court for his alleged traffic violation, nor was Pernell Charles Sr. The common thread. They are bigwigs, JLP operatives, and the young man, a nobody, a friar. Injustice pervades and permeates this or Jamaica. God help us, from Jax in Jacksonville. This one says, good afternoon. Can you share the information about ABBA with me? I did go into the lunchroom when you were giving that information, so I missed it. Sorry about that. Sorry you missed it. But it's just a tap away, so to speak. Google ABBA and you've got it. That's it. ABBA. Just type ABBA in the search box and see what comes up. And someone was wondering if it was UB40 I was referring to at the time. No. Miss Evadne says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, to you. Wishing you and all at Power 106 a happy new year. May this year be a great one. Love you all. Also wish all in class a happy and wonderful year. Thank you, Miss Evadne. All the best. Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy New Year to you and your listeners. Clarky Bless, Huntstown, St. Mary. Thank you for your message. And let's see who else is messaging us. Good morning. Oh no, that's not for me. Let's move on. Let's go down the line. And Ambassador Curtis Ward is focusing on democracy in his blog. Is democracy worth fighting for? That's the question asked on the Ward post, written by Jamaica's former ambassador to the United Nations, Ambassador Curtis Ward. So that's the question. Is democracy worth fighting for? Of course it is. Of course it is. Thank you for sharing, Ambassador Ward. Happy New Year to Dwayne Roxborough, another of our regular listeners and one who follows us even whenever we travel. Good to hear from you, Dwayne Roxborough. All the best. He says, Happy New Year and the best wishes for you and your wife now and beyond. Thank you very much, Dwayne Roxborough. Many happy returns to you and your family and those two smart children of yours. Nicola in Central Jamaica keeps in touch with us constantly, and we appreciate that, Nicola. Thank you very much. Alfred says, good afternoon. Happy New Year Mhm. All right, so we'll finish reading the rest off air. And that's from our regular listener who doesn't want to share all the information, just wanted us to get in a bit of the information. To all my Jamaican peers, Happy New Year 2024. And this is coming from Olive, not the late Olive, but this Olive who we met some time ago. And we should get a follow-up from her. I wonder what has happened. Let's see. This is Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Mr. Mark, how are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I'm okay. First, I must Happy New Year. I wish you the best of the new year.
Same to you and yours.
Right. Does this name ring a bell to your Reverend VB?
So, the blessing plan is an outcome of the Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic, 11 Anglican Road, Kingston 10. Whatever your problem, don't forget to write the blessing plan with Reverend VB. There you go.
Okay. So, yeah, good memory.
Yes, indeed. Condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, neighbors. We learned where were we? We were in a different, where were we? We were somewhere, and the information came out that he had passed. So sorry to hear that. Condolences. Mhm.
Yes. What a life everybody has to go through.
So it is.
But, okay, but I noticed when I want to use the right term here, the reggae artists and pastors, that energy that the media give to them. What am I hearing about the Reverend?
About Reverend VB?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard. And there are others who heard as well. The information.
Yeah, thousands of records out there, and I don't hear the man plays them and I read like when the reggae man and pastor.
Maybe you'll have to start agitating and advocating on behalf of those who you think deserve more and better.
I mean, it's a surprise to me, a man like him. I remember in the 80s, when he come on, every radio and RJ listening right across Jamaica. And, you know, he make him name, Pastor, and Lickler, but I say, no, country God people appear to work. So, you know, people in the media to make sure, so when people in the business part are, well, I see the gospel artists, them and get a little respect, you know, then I get the full respect with them deserve it. Not even when them get award, they all hear about them. Well, they don't have that great respect for gospel artists.
Come on, the information was put out. Information is out there.
Yeah, but not as I would expect.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what happened. Yeah, hold on. Is the family have to make sure it happens, or you have people who make sure it happens?
No, there are family members who are affiliated to people in particular standing who would use their social media pages or some other means, WhatsApp, email, to convey the information. And usually, if you have the information, and that particular family member doesn't wish for it to go out just yet, some kind of notification would be sent out to say, please do not publish before this date or something like that.
So like on Sunday when you usually come on. So if I listen this Sunday on RGR, I think that was the favorite station to come on. We can hear some more about him.
I don't know, but you could listen and see what you hear.
Yeah, I can hear him, but I want to hear what I want to hear. You get me?
I hear you.
Okay. All right, the Prime Minister hear me know your message, you know. Same thing again, I don't hear what I want to hear. Or what I want to hear. Talk about, it must nothing wrong, you know, because talk about him achievement and what plan him have, you know. Great news. Nothing wrong with that. But what I want to hear, when will him go and put laws in place that the bank man stop taking out my money without my permission? When will the boss can fire him over like and know say something serious? Why am I him not on the right track? Well, that going to work out.
It will work out the way it is intended to work out.
Oh, I explain that because if no measures and laws in place, you know, I'm thinking of me.
The Germans have a saying, wisdom is knowing when to solve a problem and knowing when to let the problem solve itself.
That's for the German, but what about for the Jamaican?
They're you, my mother would say, you don't have nothing to do.
All right, tomorrow call me I figure out record.
Oh, you do have something to do. All right.
All right, bye.
All right. Take care. It's all good. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Happy New Year, says Veronica Martin. Next, I did hear you about the partridge in a pear tree. I would like you to send all of the meaning come. That is Friday. This is someone who is trying to take us back to a few days ago. But sorry, we have passed that right now. But if time allows, we'll see if we can send you a copy of that message, that explanatory message with respect to the 12 days of Christmas. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Shout out, happy birthday to Miss Joyce, whom I met on your program. I wish her long life and happiness. And so say all of us. Thank you, Velta Wilson. And take the break and come back.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:33 on Power 106.
Power 106 FM, the digital sound, now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Plus, listen to us on onespotmedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online.
We'll take a cut, oh, kindness yet for days of old lang syne.
Lee Robinson in London says, Happy New Year, Mr. Malcolm, to you and your family, sir. Lee Robinson, your #1 fan, told quite a few people to listen to your program right here in the UK, a place you know very well. Thank you very much, Lee Robinson in London, for your message. And this one says, Happy New Year, Mr. Malcolm. May God's richest blessings be upon you and your family today and always. Thank you. Michael from Belle Plaine in Clarendon also conveying greetings. Revo says, Happy New Year and hope it will be a good one. Happy New Year again from this listener who is nameless. Bishop Douglas Gooden gets in on the act as well, conveying New Year greetings. And there are so many other messages, but we're just doing our best to clear as many of them as possible and see how it goes from there on in. In the meantime, we're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number. You can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us via WhatsApp. 876-365-3346. Joan Richardson in Bermuda has sent us a breaking news item. She says, contemplate this one. Breaking news. This is to inform you that our it's one of those. All right, let's share it. This is to inform you that our well-known friend, Mr. 2023, is retiring on the 31st of this month. His 12 wives, 52 children, and 365 grandchildren will be attending the grand send-off on Sunday, the 31st of December at 23:59 hours. However, his family members asked me to inform you that he is retiring with all your problems, sickness, disappointments, frustration, untimely death, shame, disgrace, barrenness, discouragement, failure, and rejection. Yet his successor, Mr. 2024, asked me to inform you that you will be compensated with long life, good health, wealth, love, abundant blessings, peace, joy, righteousness, promotion, and prosperity. May God's divine protection and abundant favor be yours 24/7. A blessed and prosperous new year to yourself and family. And this was shared with us by Joan Richardson in Bermuda. Thank you, Mrs. Richardson. Hello to your husband, Willard, your daughter, Roxy, and your granddaughter, Amira. And let's go through. I think we have almost exhausted the messages. Still one or two popping up. But I think we're just about at that point. Indeed, we are. So those are the messages for now, the WhatsApp messages. Oops. Well, we have more coming in. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, the constituency fund work that the PM got, how come there was no adult doing the work? It was children doing the work. So who employed the children to do painting of sidewalks? Isn't this child labor? Where are the child protection agencies to take up this international embarrassment? Says Cuban in Georgia. Well, the information is out. The footage is out. It's out in the public domain. Those who have the authority to act should feel free to act. This one says, blessings to you, Dervan. Dervan, I don't know if you're seeing the video in Clarendon where some adult beating the 14-year-old girl. Trust me, these people need to be put in prisons. They kicked and boxed down the little girl. Trust me, I'm very hurt. Salah from Kingston. It is really sad. It's an issue that has been discussed and just talked about in general, and footage shared on social media. It all boils down to socialization. Socialization. That's where we have been falling down. How do we regain some semblance of decorum in our society? How will we restore the tattered social fabric of our society? Well, the police have done their job in terms of what the law allows for, and the family also has options. So by all means, go ahead and act. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling both sides of the story. Go ahead, please. Don't listen to the radio. Good afternoon. Go ahead, please. You have to get rid of that radio in the background, please. You have to get rid of that radio in the background. We're hearing the audio coming back at us.
Okay. Anyway, Mr. Malcolm, we are the whole, the universal people. It's hard to believe, but at times we speak soft and tenderly, but our heart is at war. People, when we must recognize that is not everybody believe in Jesus Christ. But when he was on earth, many of us go to Sunday school and we have read. Everyone were despising the leprosy. And he went there. We can't be like Jesus. He went there and touched him and he healed. To say this, at times, because of ignorance, certain people do certain things. And they gang them and beat them. It's like a thief then. And the crowd rush down on the thief. And sometimes the thief is there beating the thief, you know. So we must understand what the Bible teaches at Revelation 12:9, 1 John 5:19. People can look it up and see. Satan is the ruler of the system of things. And mankind bring injury to one another. Take for instance, Mr. Malcolm, you do something out there that's ordinary, an ordinary thing that they see. They're not knowing where you're coming from, you know, and they don't know that you're an honest behaving person. But one little simple slip, they say they should hang you by your tongue. We don't understand and we do not practice love nor righteousness. And the Bible changes life. If we should come to accurate knowledge of the truth and read our Bible, we start criticizing, we start pointing the finger, as Matthew 7 says, judge that we might not be judged. Our Father, which we pray, must learn to forgive one another. Cain and Abel. One of them killed the brother. God did not just struck him down. God guided him to another city. That's all. We must recognize these things. King Herod, when he hear about Jesus, he sent him soldier go in a certain district and kill all 2-year-old children. So why we know? Can we do anything about it? Can the government do anything about it? No. Him only can try to alleviate certain things. Cannot. But if the sun hot, we must say sun hot. Rainfall requires it. God can't please with much more man. And that's why we must pray for God's kingdom to come on earth as it is in heaven. When Jesus Christ can come back and we're rule and crush all man-made kingdom through our abusing us. The lawyers, the doctors, the whole of them were abused with oppression upon us. The weak. Some people look at them because the last their senses are mind is sown into them. There are many districts. There's no government, Mr. Malcolm, can bring closer to this till the Almighty God himself come. But we're still not trying to live good with one another. We will tear down one another. And we don't see, we preach. No, I was preaching them, Mr. Malcolm, what we read 300 odd years, you know. And what happened? Only family saved. People don't think just one, two people. Even your people in your house right now, you came to talk to them. Satan take over. Parents cannot rule them children anymore. In this classroom, teachers trade a picnic.
Them only sit and give them certain things to do and we say when them get them paid. There's no restriction. You could have paid every soldier from different country, pays them at everybody house or everybody gate. What is going on, it cannot stop. But that's if you sit down, the government can do something, and it's extraordinary. Have a blessed day, Mr. Malcolm, and you take care. Thanks for your patience. You're a very, very patient man. Although as a patient man right down here, but you're very patient, and I hope the station recognize you as one of those teacher, leader, protector in some way, as your speech. Have a blessed day.
You too. Thanks for the call. Take care. Bye-bye. This is the program Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 754-3714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
3:46 on Power 106.
Rise and shine. Rise and shine.
Get ready for stories to motivate and inspire. Every Sunday at 4 p.m., Power 106 FM is delighted to bring you the program Rise and Shine with Phyllis, hosted by author and ordained minister of New Thought Christianity, Reverend Dr. Phyllis Green. Hear the tales of powerful Jamaicans at home and abroad from all walks of life who have risen above the odds to achieve great feats and to shine their light for the world to see. Get ready to be stimulated by inspiring conversations, meditation, and music. Get ready to rise and shine with Phyllis, with Reverend Dr. Phyllis Green, Sundays 4 to 5 p.m. live on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Rise and shine. Clear your mind. Oh. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. Oh. The going's fine, but we've wondered many in fact since days of old lang syne. And we
Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, Mr. Malcolm, I'm talking the boundary that the government is planning to change in St. Catherine. Yes, it's called gerrymandering. It's a practice that has been with us as people on this planet for quite a long time. And there is nothing that can prevent someone from engaging in that, a member of the political directorate, for example, because it's not considered to be an illegal act. What you could perhaps argue is that it is an immoral act. So you make a decision that is of a partisan political nature with a view to benefiting from the result that will bring. So there's your response to your message. Xavier says, Mr. Malcolm, the sad part about that little girl is that the justice system here in Jamaica gonna frustrate that mother. Those women might get away freely without charge. Well, that remains to be seen. This kind of behavior has manifested itself in our midst before, and only relatively recently that victim was back on her feet. Not sure what will happen this time, but we will see. So that's that message. And this is the thing. The other thing, as I was listening to the discussions, the interviews in relation to these individuals who were beating and slapping and doing all kinds of things to this 14-year-old, and the then as I listened, I heard whether the interviewer or those being interviewed using the word lady or ladies. And I'm saying, well, I was in the car talking to myself, basically saying, what lady or ladies are you talking about? There's a difference between a woman and a lady. A lady is a cultured individual. A gentleman is a cultured individual. So I can't imagine in this is something we have to be conscious of in a situation where someone behaves unladylike, so to speak, and yet we insist on referring to the person as a lady, when in fact the behavior of that person has already demonstrated that that person doesn't behave like a lady. So a lady is a cultured individual. Cultured individual. A lady knows how to carry herself. And on the other hand, the gentleman is one who is a cultured individual and therefore knows how to carry himself, how to comport himself or herself. It's something that we have to learn. We must be more precise in our use of language, now more than ever. So instead of referring to someone as a lady when that person has demonstrated that she is not worthy of the title of lady, we have to pay attention. With more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106. Patrick Howell says, Dervan, please send the 12 days of Christmas described by David Crosburn. Patrick, thanks. We'll see what we can do. We've already started the year with our hands full. We're trying our best. Mr. Malcolm, please tell Cuban that Clarendon is a path for its people committing terrible acts to children. And remember, it was in Clarendon Four-Paths Police Station that the Rasta girl was trimmed. I hope the people rebel against the changing of the constituency boundaries in Portmore and turn it into a parish, says Patrick Howell. Those are the WhatsApp messages. I see we have a couple of text messages? This one says, good day, Dervan. Can you please tell me how do you send a text message from a Samsung smartphone? I am Winston in Port Antonio. Hello, Winston in Port Antonio. Well, every phone has a chat box. That's a circle which usually has embedded in it a rectangular shaped chat feature with 3 dots. So what you do is to tap on that circle with the chat box inside of it, and you know how some of us learned this in school, where you create that box and you write some words in there. Hello, and you read it in your storybooks, etc. You know what we're talking about. So you tap on that icon and follow the procedure. So I'm tapping on mine right now, and right away it's asking for recipient. I mean, who are we sending the message to? And the next step would be to send an email, or just send the message, I should say. Send the message to the person and take it from there. All right, thank you very much for your multiple messages. Hello, Galloway Kevin. He says, pleasant Happy New Year to you, Ambassador Dervan, Malcolm, family and friends. Happy birthday to I today also in Jesus' name, says Galloway Kevin. Thank you very much for your message, and the happy birthday to you too, and all the very best. Take care. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And we're still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Still taking your calls. And let's do another follow-up right here, right now. For those of us who care about oil prices, as opposed to those of us who just fill up the tank without even checking how much. Well, for those who care about those numbers, gas and diesel prices are going down. Gas and diesel prices going down. Motorists will pay less for gas when they go to the pumps tomorrow, Thursday. The state-owned oil refinery Petrojam says E1087 is to move down $3.06 to sell for $165.40 per liter, and a liter of E1090 will go down by $3.06 to sell for $171.50. We live in an age now more than ever when people want to have this data and need to be able to check it. Those who like to budget, for example, how much they spend on petrol and so on and so forth. So it is. Oh, who is this now? PNP mourns death of Westmoreland councillor candidate Maxine Salaby. Sorry to hear that. Condolences. Let's take the break and come back.
Like a cup of kindness yet for all the side. And there's a hand my trust to feel, and there's a hand oh thine.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
For sign, dear, for sign, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for all of life's sign, for all of life's sign, my dear, for all of life's sign, we'll talk of.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And happy to connect with the likes of author Kwame McPherson. He says, afternoon, Dervan. Happy New Year, sir. We'll connect with you over the days, a bit to share about the Buckingham Palace invite. I see what you mean. Kwame McPherson continues to go places. After all, he has been doing some outstanding work, and he's shining bright like a diamond right now. Well done, author Kwame McPherson, and all the best. Let's take a call or two as we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Poro 106 FM. 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us via WhatsApp, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Here's David Crosburn calling us. Mr. Crosburn, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and all your listeners.
Good afternoon.
Opportunity. Yeah,
happy to oblige.
Actually, I missed out on the earlier part of the program. But just to round up or continue a little bit on what you were saying yesterday. But on the accident or the collision, as you say, in Japan with the plane.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, when you get the chance, to Google David Crosburn Agro-Buzz and listen to an interview that I did with the late Doreen Samuels in 2016. When I was doing the research on my book at the archives in Spanish Town, I came upon a document that a Trinidadian sugar agronomist by the name of Walton wrote. And the amount of information towards what can be done by the cane plant and in respect of fiber. And long ago, from that Trinidadian did that paper, maybe from in the 60s. His name is Walton. But what he was pointing out is that he's looking to see the day when cane plant will be grown and processed for fiber than for anything else. The carbon fiber that you mentioned, that the recent developments that they make the plane in Japan, all that I told Miss Doreen Samuel in the interview, it's on Agro-Buzz on the internet that I did with her in 2016. Because at the time I bought a pillow and a sheet, a sheet set that was made from fiber from the bamboo. And yeah, so Dervan, we are losing a big opportunity for carbon fiber from the cane plant, and it's available for us if we could just collaborate and move forward. It would be mind-boggling what we as a country can achieve. Because when I bought the pillow and took it to the conference, I took it to a conference in the Jamaica Association of Sugar Technologies conference, and I showed them the pillow, showed the conference, presented to the conference, and tell them about the possibilities, the huge possibilities, and no one paid them the slightest attention to it. I just said, my, but it didn't perturb me, you know. No one at the conference even pay a looking eye. And I went all the way from Bowling Green to Nashville at the plaza in Nashville and bought the pillow and the sheet that was made just to take it to the conference and to open the eyes of the conference and what are the possibilities from the cane plant based on what I had read at the archives in Spanish Town, and to know the agronomists or the sugar technologists from Trinidad was mentioning that in Trinidad they operated a sugarcane plant by the name of Usain something like another. But that factory then developed what was known as dynamite dope from the milling of the cane, and was in collaboration to take the developments to a further level. However, as usual, I won't say calling the name, it's there in Spanish Town. As usual, it was taken away from the factory in Trinidad, farming the victims, and that's where it's at. And see what Japan is doing now with the carbon fiber, and the world is there to see. And I'm so happy for them that technology kicked in and saved many lives.
Yeah, that is remarkable, and know that information is widely available, as in people now know what is achievable using carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, indeed. Because the sugarcane plant is largely carbon and fiber. The cane plant, there are varieties that they develop in China that has fiber up to 20%, 24%, or fiber in Jamaica is about 22% at most, or at worst. But it's a huge opportunity right along the coastline and so on. We could move away from going cane for cane sugar only and develop it for fiber, carbon fiber. It's a huge possibility. And listen to the interview. I said I couldn't believe when I heard what they were saying. I told Doreen in that interview that everything in the household can be made from the cane plant, and she was so taken aback when I said that to her. And I'm happy for that interview and that they place it on the internet. It's there from about 2016. Another thing, I close now for no other persons needs to listen to speak with you. In fact, I will come back to that another time. But on the launch of the book, I'm still working hard to have it done in the 8th of the 3rd, 2024. And I'm seeking all the help and assistance that listeners can contribute for life for each generation. Not miss out on this opportunity. I say a big thanks to the United Nations and about the 2 sugar factories at the University of West Indies, where we had a sugar factory from the Spanish, which was closed in 1670, and then the English sugar factory, which was closed in the 1920s. And the Spanish factory is like a revelation. Oh, I found out because when I read about the factory, they mention lignin, but then I was saying what is on the internet, if you Google Mona Sugar Estates, the 2 factories, and I just closed and opened my eyes and then realized that lignin, all of Mona was lignin, and then came to be known as St. Andrew.
Yeah, in fact, there was a toll road in that area, right at the intersection of Hope Road and Old Hope Road. Matilda's Corner, yes.
Yeah.
Matilda's Corner, which is named for Matilda Munn, the mother of Keeble Munn. Yes, the first. Yes. Keeble Munn was the first to commercially export coffee in Jamaica.
Yes, indeed. But Dervan, not to take up our time anymore. But do you know that the Tia Maria, Aunt Mary, that Matilda Munn developed?
Well, I have it that it's what's her name? Auntie Mary, Tia Maria.
Yes.
It was what's his name? The commentator, Maurice Cargill. Maurice Cargill was instrumental in the establishment of Tia Maria.
Yeah.
And
you purchase a bottle now. You see, made in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about Jamaica is on the present bottle of Tia Maria. It's made in Italy. And no, I'm saying from the Treaty of Madrid until an arc from the Treaty of Madrid to the Madrid Protocol, Jamaica stayed a huge being. But we'll survive and we need our eyes. That's why when I call and mention these things, I really want to thank you for the opportunity and for us to open our eyes and the future generation to ensure. And I shout out to the lady in Wales and encourage her to enjoy her trip, and she should look around if she see the area known as Dembe, because all Dembe in Clarinan, place name Dembe in Clarinan, came by way of the Dembe in Wales. Dembe in Wales was basically the home where Captain Henry Governor Henry Morgan came from. So he came from Denby in Wales. When he went to Venezuela, he took 50 ships.
Hold a moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. It's here. It's there. Everywhere. It's onespotmedia.com. Watch your the radio station from on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at onespotmedia.com. Follow us on Instagram, facebook.com/onespotmedia, and subscribe now. onespotmedia.com.
For all blind sight, dear. For all blind sight.
Thanks, Mr. Crossburnway. The line is growing, so let's get to it and see how quickly we can wrap.
The property sold it to a gentleman by the name of Terrier.
Yes.
And Terrier developed it. Yes. Thanks a lot. Enjoy
Thank you too.
And I'll continue to listen.
Thank you. All the best. Take care.
Yeah. All the best. Yeah.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Mervis. How are you?
Happy New Year
Happy New Year to you too.
to all the staff of Power and all the listeners across the globe and in Jamaica.
Thank you.
I was stirred when you speak about Reverend VB.
Yes.
I can't remember the gospel train is coming. The gospel train is coming.
Mm-hmm.
The gospel train has arrived. Never forget it for that. The program just 3 years passed. So my condolences to the family, and I used to enjoy that program a whole lot. You know? And the next thing that was said a while ago is my MP, the first exporter of coffee. My MP from Israel there. Can still remember him, you know, coming through the community in this long leather boots, you know, checking on people with farms and all that thing. So, them history are really nice to listen to, you know. Very interesting. So I am very concerned anyway about this 14-year-old that was beaten, you know.
Yes.
By some adults. Other children advocate over the years. I am really hurt when I hear something like that happen to a child, especially when the child had nothing to do with
the situation. Yes.
That situation.
Mm-hmm.
I can't understand why these people have this beast-like behavior in Dervan. Eh? No, man, some people just have some beast-like behavior, you know. And although me the Bible believe, you know, man, the scripture says we were made after the image and likeness of the God of creation. I mean, I know, we can't figure out what's wrong with those people, how them think. I think flagging supposed to come back in the law, you know. Because you see them people there, they should be flagged. Huh? Me feel they should be flagged, you know. For doing that to a 14-year-old child. These women them lost the touch of human kindness where women supposed to have above men. I'm really hurting for the kind of thing that is being done to our children. The other thing is, I know the police are getting them guns that they're getting, but I told them from 2006 in a conference at the conference center in Kingston, swelling the River of Peace. Taking away the guns is one thing, but the mind is where you need for change. Because when you take away a man 45 and we find I am 16, wrong or right? Eh? And you know something? You see the people who produce them gun there? We only make them sell more gun, you know. You know that? The more the police take them away, the more they seem to buy them. Just come in like children at school and you take away the weapon from them. Then go buy a new one, you know. If you not change the people's mind and let them put those things down, eh? We only helping the merchant to sell more of them, you know. I have nothing against the police, them doing their best. Pray for them too. You know? Because I have some past students going to police force all over the place. But I don't know what no human power or whatever seems to be able to deal with these people, you know. I remember one of our political leader crying for God intervention. One minister of national security. And he wasn't the only one. A lot of people keep saying we need God intervention. Do we really want God intervention? There are two words that the Almighty bring to my attention recently, you know. In order to have him intervene, you have to accept his plans and allow them. You hear the two words? Accept and allow. You can accept something and still not allow it, you know. So, in order to get God to work, you have to accept his plan. And the next thing you have to do is allow the plan to work the way how him set up the plan. So, Mr. Prime Minister, sir, all the effort you're making, yes, good. But we really need God intervention in the mental capacity of people. And we have to accept God's plan and allow the plan. Because as I see it, as I listen to various radio programs and discussions and everybody's saying enough is enough and whatever is enough. But God has a plan, you know. God has a plan. And we need to find out what that plan is and accept the plan and allow the plan to work. Then there's another people problem. I used to have that on the wall in the office years ago. And if you can't solve the people problem, you can't solve anything. The social, moral, spiritual, whatever, the people problem. Can't solve anything. Because everything comes through the mind. Mind of the powerhouse. You know? Download will come from the kingdom up at top there. If we allow it. Yes? But the overseer is not a person to put in the back of your motor vehicle and chauffeur driving. No. You have to give him the steering wheel. And not allow himself to be chauffeur driven by human beings. So that is where we've gone wrong now. We need to pull up with socks and realize this is an everybody thing in Dervan. What Mr. Leng used to say, is a company.
Yes. This company called Jamaica.
Yes. And every area, every individual. So all we ball out for justice and a ball out for change and a ball out for this. We submit and commit themselves to take place. And I am hoping that this 2024 will be a year when we sit down and look into things, out of things, under things, over things, above things, beyond things. And recognize that this, we came here and see the search. But I like to tell Russia and them Ukraine and the Israeli war, them people, we come here and see the search, you know. And we're not supposed to destroy it, we're supposed to build it and make it better for those who are left behind. We are trying to tear down and fight for something where we're so dead left. We can't carry it with it, bring it in and we can't carry it. So we must leave it better for the people who will be left behind.
Well put.
Yes, I'm appealing to us as Jamaicans. We are supposed to be world leaders, not followers, you know, Dervan. We are set to lead, you know. We can accept that in sports and other areas, but we can't see it in other areas. And I want to appeal to the government to do better with agriculture. I want to appeal to the government that in power to stop allowing so many people to come in here just come sell. We need some producers, you understand? We need some people who come in here to produce. Not just come here to sell product from somewhere else. We need to see some agro-processing plant, you know what I mean? Eh? When you have all them tomato glut and all them something, we need to see some agro-processing plants. Places. One company say have 29 shops in here, I want 14 more. For what? Just to sell food. Huh? We need some companies to produce. Production we need, Mr. Prime Minister, and your leaders, and your other leaders them around you. We need production in this place. We need to see agriculture, byproducts, I mean processing plants. We need to see a lot of things more made in Jamaica. And we need to deal with this dollar value because it can't work. The price of things killing us down here, Mr. Prime Minister. That dollar value talk about stable, it can't stable up there, so from 2010, me I tell you so. The over there, so it can't stay there. We need to produce and revalue this dollar so that we can compete with the rest of the world. The rest of the world is dumping things in here. We can't compete with them. I was so upset when I see another gas station in Port Maria. There's a space where the fire station was. And the civic center is nearby without any parking space. And me expect them would have used this one little parking space for one gas station this again. Eh? We don't understand how these leaders develop an area. I am so annoyed. Yeah, because sometimes when they have things at civic center, buses come there with children and we go find a place to park. Not even like a parking space is there for the civic center. How come these leaders sit on there and allow these people, one set of them to be just owning the whole town? The era where the NWC used to park them vehicle and somebody else buy it out from foreign again. And when you see there's a big tiny establishment. And them gone over the civic center, gone run them business. I am really upset about the town of Port Maria, you know. Really upset about the development because a pure St. Mary black people develop Port Maria town. And I am really upset about what is going on in the town of Port Maria. Our nation cannot go on like this. We can't go so the government find a way of helping local people to set up business and maintain them. It can't work. God said can't go so. Enough it go so. I mean, I tell them enough. They over there will do enough rope. But when you're ready to act in same done same time, Jamaican people, wake up. God said take off with nighty and take off the pajama, the man. Wake up and smell the coffee. We have the best coffee in the world and we can't sell it. It's a sell for nothing. Then can't get the money for it. And coffee and sitting and cover all over the globe. We can't sit down here. Where's the academia anyway? The question got to ask. What the educated people them there? You know, I hear that when I see them. So look who them coming like them start run this country, the gangsters and the who. Where are the academias? And I'm here to say now the king I tell me if you ask the nation, so where we there? Dervan, thanks for your patience all the time, you hear?
Thanks for the call.
Because some people insult me over them programs sometimes.
Really?
Oh yes. So thanks very much to Power 106.
You're welcome. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. There's more after the break.
I never brought to mind should old acquaintance be forgot and days apart.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
.4:30 in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the schoolers from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity. just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Yes, we know you've been on the Christmas break, and all things being well, you go back to school on Monday, I believe. But you know what we always say, even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So those who are continuing their studies, their preparations for CSEC exams, CAPE exams, those who are preparing for PEP exams, etc. There's a lot of work to be done, and we want to make sure we're helping the children, the students, to properly position themselves so that when the time comes, they will be ready. So just remember, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Parents and guardians, it's a good time to check up on the children. Yes, do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com. For those who walk around in the Jamaican environment and elsewhere, and you see people still wearing masks or other forms of protective gear, and you perhaps find it annoying or whatever you call it, or overdoing it, etc. And so you might be asking, where is COVID-19 these days? Well, in the last 6 months, we're told that several new COVID-19 variants have emerged and gained dominance in the United States. Currently, 2 strains account for the majority of cases, HV.1 and JN.1. As the US nears peak respiratory virus season, these highly contagious Omicron subvariants are fueling a rise in infections. That's right, you heard right, fueling a rise in infections across the United States of America. The HV.1 variant has been circulating in the US since the late summer. It descended directly from EG.5, aka Eris, and is very similar to its parental strain. In October, HV.1 quickly overtook other variants, including EG.5 and XBB.1. 16, or Arcturus, to become the leading variant in the country. So in your spare time, you perhaps could try and just take another look and see how things are and whether there are certain steps we still need to continue taking. Over to you. And well, over to all of us. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, my professor.
Good afternoon.
Dervan, good afternoon to your callers and your workers behind the scene and your listeners.
Thank you on their behalf.
Dervan, you know more lockdowns coming though.
Well, on the evidence of what we have seen so far, I don't get that sense of people getting ready again for what is to come.
Yeah, man, more lockdowns coming, and it's coming. Financial lockdowns going to come as well.
Yeah.
Because Dervan, every household must build a pantry, you know.
Yes, you have been talking about that for some weeks now.
Yes, you must build your pantry. Listen to some trends in the news, international news, Mr. Malcolm. They expect gold prices to go up this year. Gold, if you have any gold, don't sell your gold. They expect gold price to become a record high because as the interest rate goes down, the investors in the world are going to gravitate for gold. And they also expect the war to intensify because they are saying that since 1945, the United Nations has never been divided. And also so many warships has never been in the Mediterranean Sea. There's not a gunshot fire in the Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
You know that the 6 Hezbollah activists that they killed yesterday, all of them were buried today, Dervan. They don't keep dead body on the ice.
Yes.
And I believe that's one of the mindsets that we as a people in Jamaica need to change, you know, how we deal with funeral, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
As far as me see, it's like we are a people who glorify funeral and like go to funeral and 2 9 nights and all of these things. Eh? And I think that is part of the thing that would help to bring down the crime culture if we just bury people the next year. And cut down on the glorification of 9 nights, and they have 9 nights, they have candle lighting, then after them dead, them go back, go meet up again and eat and drink again. You think that is the whole purpose of funeral, Dervan?
Well, for some people.
Solomon in the book of Proverbs said that we should rejoice when a person dies and cry when a person is born. You think Solomon was not wise in saying that?
Well, it's a function of our interpretation as well of the material that we have access to.
Dervan, it's crime I am fighting this year, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fighting crime within a certain constituency based on my SWOT analysis. South St. Andrew, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
South St. Andrew, that they call the Kingston 13, Kingston 12, Kingston 11, that area from 6 Mile to Coronation Market. That is an all road leading off. That's the area I'm focusing on with 20 males, you see? Listen to this strategy, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
You see Coronation Market down there. You know, if the so-called economists in Jamaica and the academias like the university professors, you know, it's full time we put Coronation Market and the Junior Stock Exchange as a company and see how many people would contribute and buy shares in that company so that we can see how we can help the small farmers through a fund like that, Dervan. You think it would work?
That remains to be seen. There's no guarantee because of there's a level of skepticism and a behavior of unsure or not.
Risk.
Yeah, the risk. Some people are, a lot of people, well, I can't say a lot, but some people are prepared or are not prepared to take that risk.
That risk, they prefer buy the food in container from overseas and bring it to our shores rather than plant it in the ground. Huh?
Well, there's that because the barrel business is big business.
Big business.
Mm-hmm.
The National Water Commission as well, you see? I believe it's full time we put the National Water Commission and the Junior Stock Exchange and see how many people would buy into that shares. Because the National Water Commission is effectively bankrupt when you look at the balance sheet in the Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
You have a ratio. Let me tell you another core ratio in accounts that you must look at. What they call your liquidity ratio. It measures your current assets that you have, Dervan, those assets that you can easily exchange for cash, like the money that you have in your bank account, the money that you have in your checking account, the cash that you have in the pocket, how much people owe you, and you measure that against what is called your current liabilities, those who you owe. When you look at the Water Commission balance sheet, you see that they need money. They need fast money in order to fulfill the cash flow. And you know where they're getting that cash flow from, Dervan?
Where?
They're borrowing it from the big bank. And we shouldn't be allowing the big bank to be lending Water Commission so much money.
But there's nothing to stop them.
Huh?
There's nothing to stop them.
There's nothing to stop that.
Mm-mm.
Why would you say that?
Because that's on the streets of Jamaica. Some people would tell you I saw the thing said.
Hallelujah!
Mm.
Yeah, Dervan.
Mm.
You know them song to Dervan? Dervan.
Yes.
You know that the National Water Commission is a more price asset than the bank itself. You know that?
No,
the Water Commission, the National Water Commission, would be able to pull more revenue than the bank itself. You know? And the NCB have grown how much profit they make, and BNS have grown how much profit they make. The National Water Commission is a more potent asset than the bank itself. You know? And we as a people must not sit back and allow banks to own water. You know? Because private business going to own the rubbish collection in this country. You know? Private business own the food security in this country. You know? And we cannot allow the
and it has been established for some time now that water is the new gold.
Yeah, the new gold.
Mm-hmm.
So the people they might just sit down and give it the gold and say so the thing said.
No, we would be tardy and foolish to do something like that.
The Water Commission need to go on the junior stock exchange and see how much people, how much small money that buy a share in it, so that the company become profitable and pay shares to the shareholder rather than it go private. You know? Let me tell you this now, Dervan, quickly, and that's staying long.
I think as a lot of tidying up will still have to be done to get to where we need to get to. Mm.
Exactly, because a lot of people owe the Water Commission enough money here, Dervan.
Yes.
Yeah, let me tell you South St. Ange, you know. You see 3 Mile, the MPs in 3 Mile, Angela Brownberg, and the man who, Mr. Hilton, they need to paint the Portia Simpson Square.
That's not Andre Hilton you're talking about the other Hilton there. Sorry.
Yeah, the lawyer. Dervan, you know that every institution that name after Mr. Siaga.
Hold on a moment. Right. So Mr. Holness, the Prime Minister, has that's what West Central St. Andrew, is it?
Yes. All of them need to come together in honor of the honorable.
And there's their border, Angela Brownberg, right?
And Hilton.
He's on the
other side of Riverton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, we have to go to the break.
Never brought to mind.
All you'll ever need to know about agriculture in the 21st century, packed into one. You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
news, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.